Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast, episode 3 with Flames playoff recap, sponsored by, well, A Man Can Dream.
A man can dream, and I guess we're going to Game 7 today, eh?
Yeah, even though I predicted 7,
I didn't want it to
was
be
weird.
7.
No, this is weird. I think it's weird because this is a team that had a lot of expectation. Now that Edmonton wins yesterday, there's almost a bit of even more pressure on. So it makes it even more high stakes. And when's the last time we've seen a Game 7 with the Flames? I think it was 2008, if I'm correct, or 2009.
I would think sooner than that, but I think you're right.
Because
in 2015 it didn't happen.
No.
We didn't get when we versed Dallas in 2020. That didn't go. That went to 6.
Yeah.
No, I think it was like probably 2008, 2009. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think you're dead
because
on the money.
it was the San Jose series, and
Yep.
if I'm correct, that's the 08. But I could, because they played Chicago one year too, the year after before. Anyways, that's a long time ago. That's when Iggy was still on the team, so
I miss him.
missed that. I just imagine. I always talk about this with my dad. We're always like, okay, imagine if Iginla was on a team with this type of skill and level and talent. Like, can you imagine that? Like, you already have, this is some like Marvel what if scenario, right? I think I've already talked about this before on the podcast.
We've said that a few times in this podcast.
It's just imagine a line where it's like, you already have your 40 goal scorers, and then add a Ginla to that. He was pretty much guaranteed 30 goals every year.
Would you put Would you put Iggy on that first line with Gaudreau and Lidholm and take out Kachuk, or would you put Iggy on the second line and bump down Mangiapane?
Just imagine with Gaudreau's playmaking ability with a Ginla. It's just setting him up for his little clappers on the slot there. Can you imagine that?
That would be nuts.
Because that's kind of what he already does with Lindholm in a sense. Like we always see those nifty setups.
Oh yeah.
Right at the point where he just
hammers it.
Perfect shot right past the goalie, like short side or whatever. So that'd be man.
That would be kind of cool. That would be very cool. But I guess I'll quickly just go through what happened in the last 2 games. So Game 5 we played great. I truly didn't see anything wrong with Game 5. Michael Backlund, nice tip into the net. Mangiapane, that was great. Mangiapane with a complete snipe. I loved that one. Then Travis Lewis entered in the empty net. I loved everything about that game. There was truly nothing wrong. And plus, we got the lead when that happened. So I was like, oh, if we just play like that, it's over. We move on. But Game 6. Oh, this was a really tough game to watch because, they got the first 2, and that kind of concerned me at first. But then Michael Stone came back, gave us the 2-1, and then Michael Backlund again gave us the lead. And, and Heiskanen got that third. Oh, that really sucked.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dagger to it. And the thing about it is, that game at home, which gives me hope because Game 7 is at home.
Yeah.
I really do think the fans had a bit to play in it, but it just Oler Sean points were just showing in that game.
Did you see the viewing party for Game 6?
It was massive. It was
that
crazy
was
the difference in
insane.
size between Game 2 to Game 5. So Game 7 is going to be of course crazy because of the tickets and stuff. They'll max it out at 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton and Calgary are going to have fun with that. Hypothetically, if... Okay, I'm not saying anything because I don't want to jinx nothing, but...
We got to get through Game 7 first before we even
Exactly.
talk about Battle of Alberta. So if we get on to Game 7, that's what you guys will probably hear about us from next.
I think definitely, though, to kind of go back to these games, the strong points, of course, are Markstrom. Just been playing phenomenal each game. There's, literally, I feel like if you lose this series... I just really feel worse for Markstrom out of everyone because he's played his role to a T, and that's the thing is he's played it so good. There's a reason why no one's being like, oh, I can't believe how good he is because this is almost expected from him, and so it's really just the other pieces. The defense I haven't really had problems with. It ultimately is still the penalties. Like Nikita Zadorov with that hit to the head, stuff like that. You got to be more careful with, right? Because that is stuff that can be very costly. And if you do it in a game like in a game 7, all you need is one power play goal, and that could just send you to the next round.
That's very true, and I'm not gonna lie about that hit. Okay, if you look at it, it looks like a clean hit, but it's just the height difference with Zadorov, just right to the head. It was a clean hit, but just height totally made the difference because he clocked his shoulder into his head.
For me, I can't defend that in any sense because I did the same thing with Tyler Myers when he did it a few times this season. So I'd be a hypocrite to be like, oh, it's just because of his height. I think Zadorov should have just been a bit more cautious on the play. Same time, though, when you're skating and you're playing at such a high pace, you don't really think about that stuff, right? You're thinking about finishing your checks out of everything.
Yeah.
So luckily got no suspension, but the refs are going to look out for him now because of that.
I think he's aware of that now, and I think he's going to start a fight with Jamie Benn next game for sure.
Good.
I think, okay, so I'm planning on going to the viewing party tonight for Game 7. It's going to be wild there. Matthew Tkachuk was doing an interview today, and he even said it's probably going to be the craziest atmosphere he'll ever experience in a game so far for the Flames. Because the biggest factor I see, you're in Game 7, you're at home. You're probably going to get the loudest fans you probably ever heard. And I've also been looking at a few more stats, and Daryl Sutter is I think the coach with the most Game 7s. He's gone to the most Game 7s in the playoffs out of any coach. And I believe he also has the best record of 7-3 in Game 7 situations. And that's really good to hear so far. Mm-hmm. Like, just hearing that, I'm like, okay, that gives me a little bit better of okay, we're playing at home. Sutter's good at Game 7s. This team does really well at home. Like, this is do or die kind of situation for the Flames, especially with such a great season they've had. And like you said yourself, like, that would be bummer for Markstrom. And just, like, you also got to look, if we lose, Markstrom, amazing season wasted. You got Tkachuk still restricted free agent. Gaudreau, free agent as well with Mangiapane. Like, so many key players. Like, if you don't win this year, the whole team's going to have such a huge change next year.
Yeah, that's true. Possibly and possibly not, because what I was thinking as well is...
what, you want to go back with that team?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that before you sign Coleman at a 5-year and you sign Markey for a few more years, I think, is that 4 more years after this season? 3 more?
I think he's got like 5.
Right? Like, you're not going to retool with that. You know what I mean? You don't sign these players to think, oh, just one and done, right? You'd probably sign them to 1 year or something. Kind of what like Winnipeg did with Paul Stastny a few years ago.
Yeah,
that's what I see. Yeah, if we talk about the crowd too, it's like, okay, so Calgary is 2-1 at home this round. I find they do play better at home. I think their worst game, to be honest, funny enough, as we talked about that, was at home, Game 2. I think that was their worst game in the series.
Didn't that end 2-0?
No, yeah, it was a 2-0 shutout. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the
offense was not there. And so there's just, honestly, I would feel much more confident if our middle six was doing something. I mean, they did something.
They have improved.
They have improved. I'm not saying exactly. That is very true. Right? Mangiapane got that really clutch goal.
Michael Backlund.
Backlund with the game winner. In Game 5, sorry. But I would if they were like consistent all season or the all playoffs, I probably would feel more confident, like 100% more. But I don't know. You know what it is? It's just when you're a fan and stuff. Game 7's a win it all, right? It's just kind of NBA feel where it's like it's one game, right? One and you're done. That's really what it is now. Yep. So it's weird how it feels like everything else is so irrelevant. That's not irrelevant, but it just feels like it just because Game 7 is so high stakes because it's one and done.
Yep, pretty much. This is like NFL playoffs now. This is where the mentality is at its most. Game 7, especially for first round, because in a Flame situation, this is go big or go home.
100%. Well, and for Dallas too, like if they want to win, same thing. Or Ottinger, so both teams have to have their goalies be solid, and there's been no problem. So I have no I have no fear that both these goals are not going to have like not a good game or whatever. And if they play the trap game well, if they can honestly stop our middle six, even of course stop the top line from scoring too, and take advantage of the power plays, right, then that's how Dallas can win. So of course Calgary's gonna have to look out for that. Turnovers and penalties, it's been the same thing forever. Don't do it with this team. Don't do it for any team. Just limit them.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for Calgary too is still turnovers and penalties. But that's kind of why I was like, if Zadorov did get suspended for the one game, I would have been like, well, less turnovers, less penalties, I guess. But also having a big guy like that out there is really useful, especially if you're trying to play the physical game, especially with Dallas, because no one's touching him or Lucic. You even saw in Game 6 with that big brawl at the end. No one truly wanted to mess with them, but when you piss them off like that, you're gonna get it. You're gonna expect it.
That's the thing too. Is Dallas can match Calgary's physicality, and I feel like that's kind of have made them go over the edge in some games because they can match it. And I felt like with Game 2, because Game 1, of course, was the kind of the teaser, the kind of like get used to it kind of thing, right? To see how the series is gonna play out. Yeah. Game 2, Dallas matches the physicality. They try and push it even further. I think Calgary has kind of been complacent and dimmed it down a bit to just, play the physicality they need to, but not to kind of overachieve in it because I feel like they were too busy in that category. But yeah, no, I think the physicality as well, like, of course, will be a big factor into Game 7 as well. Because you're going to see a few hits, you're going to see a few slashes and stuff, you're going to see a few, right? Because it's same thing as high stakes. I was also going to, what was that? Oh, yes, I was going to ask. So, okay, as well.
Go ahead.
Question for you. Because Game 5, you switch it so that Richie's out. You have 7D and 11 forwards, and they've been kind of sticking with it now. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you still stay with that this game? How do you feel like it's kind of worked out for them with Michael Stone in?
I think actually Michael Stone has had probably one of the bigger impacts on the team since he's been back in. And Daryl Sutter, I think it was the right move by Sutter to take Richie out and add that seventh defenseman because it looks like already they're like already out like playing a lot of their defensemen and they're getting tired. So putting that seventh defenseman really has shown it's helped through the last few games. I would say keep it the same way, to be honest. I don't truly see a downfall with it at the moment, and obviously it's working, and I believe it will work tonight as well. What I was going to ask you was, what is your prediction for Game 7?
Yeah. Well, before I say that, Stone has a goal, so.
Yeah, Stone has a goal and assist already. So.
Well, and also Johnny Hockey's honestly been playing up to par. No complaints. I don't know. Anyone who's blaming Johnny for this
no,
actually watching
this
series.
Time.
Anyone who's even saying this series is boring is not watching this series. Because it's not boring. Yeah, Game 2 was boring. That was it. Game 2 is the only boring game in the series, in my opinion. The rest have just been hard fought. Like
it's a goalie battle too.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why there's not a whole lot of scoring in this series because you you still have Vezina caliber Markstrom, and then you have Ottinger that came out of nowhere and lit up his playoff debut, and it's like wow, that happens in playoffs. That happens, but this isn't a boring series.
No, not at all.
Probably like out of the whole bunch, I could see maybe why it's like the most. I could see why most people think it's the most boring out of all the series, but it's truly not a boring series.
No,
there hasn't been any boring series, in my opinion, except Colorado at most.
Well, yeah, because, they were dominant the whole game, but even that had, like, enjoyment to it, right?
Exactly.
Close comebacks, almost comebacks, stuff like that, and, there was good goaltending on the other side. Like, Kemper was playing lights out, right?
Yeah, then he got a stick to the face, and he was out for that one game.
And then Franzuzi also, right? That's a good story to, like, watch and follow, too, right? So
yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, predictions.
Yep. Who do you think is coming out on top? Flames versus Dallas, Game 7. Who's coming on top?
Man, if only I was able to watch the whole thing. Damn. I'm just gonna say because
can't watch it all.
4-3 Flames. I think it's 4-3. Like it's like a 4-3, and then like they pull the goalie. Yeah, almost empty net, but like they just run out of time. 4-3. I think it's still a goalie battle, even though it's more goals than maybe you would probably want your goalie to let in, but. I think the physicality, the Flames at home. I think of course, they're the better team on paper, and I think they'll honestly outperform Dallas. I think you got to get a goal early, and hopefully your goals, or at least one of them, comes from your middle six. Because it just, honestly, like, if the middle six can get going and they win this game, I have no doubt that this team can make another splash and for, say, another playoff series, right, if it comes to that. So that's what I think.
Exactly. All right. That's a pretty good prediction. For me, I think with what Daryl Sutter said in the interviews, this team plays better when the pressure's on, and Calgary has all the pressure right now. You have a packed stadium, you're at home, it's Game 7, first round, you already have all these pieces that you need to at least take a deep run, and I think they win. I think you come up on top. With everything involved and what you have, I think they win 3-2. I think it goes 2-2. I think it goes 0-0 in the first. They both score 2 in the second.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then it's just dead bloodbath till the third, until like probably 5 minutes left, and then like probably the first line goes off.
Sounds like a Game 7.
Yep, that's what I think
sounds
happens.
Like a Game 7. It's always like a kind of feel it out first for period. Something happens in the second, but usually the second period kind of almost dictates the game sometimes because, it's like a goal late in the second, then you kind of take the momentum to the next period.
Oh, yeah, literally. I could, like, it's... Obviously, our predictions aren't always right, but I'm really, really, really hoping this prediction is right because I want second round Battle of Alberta.
That, and I want more things to talk about in the podcast.
Exactly.
Well, that is Flames related because there's more stuff, but
There's more stuff we could talk about, but this is our favorite stuff so far.
Exactly.
If you can't tell already. But, that's our predictions for Game 7, boys. I think I'm running out of stuff to say.
I guess we'll get that's what we need because we'll have a recap once this game's done. So
yeah, we'll either be really happy or we'll just have a really sad podcast. And I really hope it doesn't end, and I hope we get to see you guys in round 2. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're trying our best to be out there. Obviously, we're still busy with our own lives. If you do like this, leave a like, leave a comment if you guys have any suggestions. Share and subscribe. That's always helpful for us and the support. We love it all. Tristan, I'll leave it off with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man. All right. Game 7. Whew. Gonna be a nail biter. Another Game 7 too. Pittsburgh, New York plays at 5 our time. So also watch that. Well, definitely. I can't wait for this first round recap as well. That'll be good.
Oh, I can't wait. And then we got to do second round predictions.
Yeah,
ooh, it's gonna be fun.
We have a bunch, man.
I cannot
wait. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for listening and watching. You can catch us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Buzzsprout, and even TikTok.
Yeah.
Follow us on there if you like. Leave a comment, whatever you prefer. And hey, go Flames, go! Let's see what happens tonight.
Let's go, baby.
Peace. Woo-woo.